What is up, AVI? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a little different video, normally something we don't do. Now that we're monetized, we're trying to be careful for these little different things, but we're going to be showing you how to distinguish a cop car from any other car in the wild. So we're just worried that maybe giving you this information is going to be a little bad for YouTube, but we're just making a disclaimer. Do not use this information as a means for doing criminal activity or something. So
we do not condone criminal activity.
None. We're AVI. We're rated G.
What I like is by knowing cop cars, like if they're behind me on the highway, I can move over so they can get on their way and go. They don't have to turn on the lights and have everyone move over. Just stay out of their way. Make sure you're not doing anything wrong, and they're going to leave you alone.
Exactly. So yeah, just use this information to your advantage. If you see a cop car, and if they're behind you, I mean, there's probably a higher chance of you getting pulled over. So just want to be careful with those cops. So we're going to start off with the obvious one. What kind of cars do cops drive? So this is probably obvious to you guys. There's going to be Ford Explorers, Dodge Chargers, Ford Tauruses, and rarely you'll see a Chevy Tahoe. I think those are like in New York mostly. Another thing to mention too, I think some cars could be, what do you call them?
Unmarked.
Unmarked. Yeah. So
this is like the ways to distinguish it. Obviously, if it has decals all over the car that say police, it's most likely there could be frauds, which they should get arrested anyway. But most likely, you'll be able to tell. Obviously, if it has a decal. So these are kind of things that aren't maybe so obvious to help you get out of their way or to just help you see them on the road.
Yeah, so I would just be careful with those types of cars anyways, no matter the color, but they're mostly going to be black, black color, but just any of those cars, just try to stay away from.
Next thing, which is a pretty clear thing across all the states, is a lot of the cops won't have roof racks, roof rails, as some people call them, just because they'll typically have lights, radar on there, cameras on there, just everything to protect them and protect the people around them, and be able to obviously see a cop from a distance. So that's going to be one thing, no roof racks or no roof rails.
Next thing you want to look out for, obviously the cop cars are going to have some performance, so but they're going to compensate by using like the lower trimmed wheels. So you're going to see like the Steelies, you're going to see those cheaper wheels. They're not going to look as fancy, and they're just going to do the basics, so Steelies, those are nice firm wheels that they're going to use.
And majority of the time they'll be black, and I think the purpose of those as well, the Steelies, is just like be able to run over stuff if they're in a chase or something, and not have to worry about the hubcaps or anything like that.
Driving over a curb or something, like ruining the wheels. You just want some hard steel, and that's what the Steelies are for.
Yeah, so that's one way to tell. Another way to tell is the brake lights. This is something that I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have noticed. When you're behind a cop and they hit the brakes, it looks like the brake lights will like flash multiple times upon like the first brake. So it's something unique about cop cars that I've noticed, especially at night. It's much easier to tell if they're in front of you of a distance. You can keep your distance, make sure you're out of their way. But that's just one thing to look out for. Next
thing you're going to notice, it's pretty obvious, we kind of mentioned it on the roof rails, but you're going to see lights and sirens, gadgets, radars on the car. This sounds just like what Tim said, but
gadgets and gizmos. Yep.
They're going to check, I guess, your speeds on that thing. I'm not sure if they have like a speedo gun.
I think they have both, probably. One for while they're driving, they can just turn it on and maintain.
Yeah, and I think maybe on the roof they might detect your license plate. I believe
GPS probably too, to keep track of them.
All those things.
There's a lot of gizmos.
Yeah, any antenna or gadget you see on those cars, just avoid. I know the Ford Taurus has like a little square one, but if you see more than one of those, then just try and run, or be safe.
Next thing is something that I've noticed on the Ford Explorers in particular, is they're going to have amber running lights, which are very horizontal, right below the headlight. So they're going to be, or maybe right above. It's in the front part, so if they're behind you and you see complete vertical amber running lights, it's most likely a cop car. I think it's slightly, the front fascia is a little bit different between a cop Explorer and a normal Explorer. And then another thing is the spotlight, obviously. It's a little bit more easy to see. The spotlight will be on their side, so the driver's side window, they'll have a spotlight, but a lot of the times the cops will just put them down if they're just driving and not trying to get noticed. And so just take a look, you'll be able to see the little housing for the spotlight.
So yeah, and Another thing, just going off that, you'll really notice those turn signals when the cop is right up on you, especially at nighttime. You'll see those amber lights. So
they're like aggressive, and they don't really.
Yeah,
it looks distinct when you're behind it. It's like that looks weird.
And they're gonna be LED, so they're gonna be like really bright and scary. So yeah, just watch out for those. Next obvious thing should have been mentioned earlier, but you know, most cop cars are gonna have the bull guards or the grill guards right smack in the front. There's no really reason for anyone else to have those except for cops. I mean, those are for like doing pit maneuvers, or they're always like hitting stuff or hitting other cars just to get them out of the way and pursue them. So,
and the undercover cop cars will not have that bull on the front. What is it called?
Bull guard
or
grill guard,
something like that. The undercover will not have that, so use the things that we mentioned previously to kind of tell if it is if it's undercover or unmarked, as we'd say. And finally, one thing, if you guys are in the state of Connecticut, one thing I've noticed, and I've seen threads on it as well, is a lot of the cop cars will have the license plate ending in UTZ. And I think what I read in the forums is just people are saying they probably just got a whole bunch of bulk plates for the cops at one time. And so if you're behind one or in front, because you know they have to comply with the state of Connecticut rules, where license plates on the front and back. So you should be able to see UTZ on either front or back, ending in UTZ. So that's one way if you're in Connecticut to find out. And maybe you guys let us know in the comments below if you guys live in a different state and you guys notice that the cops have similar plates or things like that.
Yep. And just preferably for me, I avoid anything with like a state license plate, or it has like the state symbol on the license plate, or even like plates with like less characters. I'll just kind of avoid, because they're just a little
yeah, I think a lot of government vehicles have like low number plates, so just be cautious.
Yeah, so I think that was it for this video. Just some top tips on how to avoid cop cars, how to distinguish them in the wild.
But just because you know these things doesn't mean you should just go out and speed race until you see one, because that's not what we condone here.
Exactly. But please, YouTube, try to monetize us. This isn't bad intentions or anything. So yeah, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment
other things that we might have missed also.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just like that,
AVI
out. Camera's on the wrong. Oh, that's probably what it was. Yeah, your camera was on the other side. Yeah, okay. Me.